Hey, it's Pedro, and welcome to Why God, a space where we try to make sense of what's happening in our lives, as we aim to answer the three whys. Why does God? Why choose God? And why God's love? Episode 2, Shame. In my walk with Christ, there has been times where I felt as though I was falling short, times where I thought I didn't deserve to talk to God, or that God was too ashamed of me to talk to me. With these seeds of doubt in my mind, it was hard to come out of this cycle where I would try things to replace the hole in my heart and being ashamed of the things I was trying to replace it with. And what I began to realize is that no matter how hard I tried to cover the cracks of my sin by my own strength, nothing could ever replace what God could have done for me. Of course, now I'm talking out of hindsight. In the moment of feeling shame, it was a painful and seemingly endless cycle of feeling bad and trying to cover it with what I thought was good. What I failed to realise at the time was that, in my moments of feeling bad for what I had done, that was in fact a chance for me to return to the one who loved me first. Instead of trying to cover my own wrongs, I had a chance to return to the one who makes everything right. You may wonder why God allows us to feel shame, or any bad feeling for that matter. How can someone who claims to love me allow me to slip away and feel these feelings, which keep me in a dark place for so long? We're then bundled up in addictions, hoping that this is the way out of from how we feel, only to feel horrible again. We're then sat alone in our own thoughts, confused, angry, empty, as the only thing we can utter from our lips is why God. A part of God's love for us means that He gives us free will. In the same manner how a parent wouldn't force a child to do everything to feel a certain way, God doesn't force us to do anything, even the right things. This in fact would be the opposite of love. It would be a toxic relationship. It would be a relationship where He makes us do things without concern for who we are and how we are and what we are. Continuing with the parent and child analogy, yes, the parent's job is to protect the child from danger, and more times than not, it's danger that the child itself cannot see. But eventually, there will come a time where the child makes their own decisions for themselves. But the great thing about the parent is that if the child trips up and hurts their knee, for example, the parent is there to treat them, to teach them, and love them. But realizing that the parent can do these things only comes when we're in times of trouble. When we apply this analogy to our knowledge with God, we must understand that at times we all make decisions for ourselves. Some of these decisions may be seemingly good, but they end up having horrible consequences. But God is there for us no matter how dire our situation might be, or how intense your emotions are. Isaiah 41 verse 10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." So you see here, God's presence isn't conditional. He says He is with us. He is our God. He will help you. But what we must recognize is that God can only help us if we let Him help us. The same way how we would let our parent tend to our wounds, we must let our Heavenly Father tend to the wounds of our spirit. We may be ashamed that we let ourselves get injured, and we may be embarrassed that we've taken the fall in front of everybody. But even after all of that, God is there to cover us through what we feel and what we're going through. He helps us to understand what is happening and what we're feeling will always only be temporary, because His love is eternal. We must also come to realize that this understanding and recognition of His love won't always come straight away. It comes with building our faith in Him, faith that God will always protect us and deliver us, not when we think we need it, but when He deems it necessary to His holy will. As we build our faith and learn to love God, we start to understand that His grace and mercy compels us to be better people. His love covers all wrongdoings and convicts our own character to be like Him. He doesn't use our past against us. He uses our past to set a new standard to be better. With that being said, I would like you to take this away with you. In the midst of it all, we are mere humans that will undoubtedly fall to sin time and time again. We will have seasons of embarrassment, shame and self-hatred, and times where we feel as though there is no way out of how we feel. But there is a God that can rescue us from it all. A God that has the love to rescue us from our self-hatred, the love to make our wounds of sin clean and white as snow. When we have the faith in order to trust God that He will stick with us and protect us time and time again, no matter how much we've fallen down, we'll look at the bad things that we've been through and give thanks to Him. We'll give thanks to Him for allowing us to experience the bad in the world, because we realize His divine love is above anything that this world can do to us. By praying, being sincere, and being earnest, our shame is turned to praise through His mercy and love. With that being said, I'm Pedro, and thank you for listening.